Welcome back. It's time for the weekend review, and we're talking about the S&P 500 futures. So let's get right into the big levels and what we should expect for this week and the levels that we should be looking for reactions. So first and foremost, as always, starting with the weekly TPO, I like to figure out where we're at in value and where our inefficiencies are. So here we go. So this area right here, this is a very large composite weekly point of control. This is 2 weeks put together, just to kind of show you guys where all the volume is at. The actual value area high is sitting right here at this current week's point of control. So very interesting to know. Obviously something good to see. And what I wanted to show you was essentially we have this huge low volume area that will more than likely pull back at least into this 6720 area. Okay, 6720, 6725, somewhere right in there. Okay, it could come bleed down into the weekly POC here at 6708, but from this perspective, we essentially have this zone about right here where we could peel into. Okay, also, I don't know if you noticed this, massive amounts of buyers and everything kind of switches to sellers underneath the weekly POC at 6708. So a nice line of reference there. There's actually an above-below daily for us at this exact level, which I'll soon show you. Okay, so let's get right into the daily time frame and the weekly time frames and show you what's cooking. As always, this thing is still pushing up. Nothing is changing as of right now. We could have a little disturbance in the force come the first part of the week, but we've got some support to buy, so we'll see what happens. Once again, another strong weekly close, another strong daily close. They came down and played the 67.4650 perfectly on SPX, kind of bled through by 2 points here. We called this in the outlook on Thursday. This trade paid 50 points, essentially took us to the highs on Friday before it started to peel off a little bit. So just a phenomenal trade for everybody who followed along. That was great. Now, what are we looking at here? Well, we got a big time daily pivot right here at 57.4650. Being above or below this is going to be huge. Okay, now this is on the RTH side, cash session. On the ETH session, our pivot is 52.50. Okay, and actually it's played quite a few good times, and it has been our trigger to get back above this daily here at 46.50 multiple times. And we actually almost touched it again on Friday before it bounced. So we're going to use this as a zone, essentially the 52 to 46.50, but I'm just going to call it 46.50. If we push below this area here from a daily perspective, now there is some 4 hours in between, which I'll show you, but we could actually come all the way down to 57.2225. It's a good daily spot. There's a 4 hour here too. I actually like this spot quite a bit and would be looking to take a long in this area. I'm going to dial this in on the 4 hour for you guys so you can see what's up, and then let you guys make your own decision here. But I will say this. This is the only untested daily that I have. Okay, so that's kind of a big deal. All right, the thing is, we just don't have any more high time frame support. Now we do have some 4 hour support, which is great, but it's not a daily. Okay, so you guys know I love my 4 hours, but from a daily perspective, 67.2225 is it. We've got our major pivot here at 66.85, which has been big for a while, and then of course the daily leg to the high, which is the 66.60. If we get a close beneath here, we could come down quite a bit. Okay, so this is our leg, this is our sections. We've got essentially the 46.50 at the highs and the 66.60 at the lows, and being above or below these two critical levels will be important. And then this is our pivot here at 85. Okay, so if 22 comes down, we need to get back above 67.4650. All right, to get our continuation higher. So that's how it's looking on the daily time frame. I'm going to go ahead and pull over the 4 hour so you can see the structure a little bit more defined, what's going on here. If you recall, we talked about the weekly point of control at 67.08 in the very beginning, about how price could pull back into that. And we are currently right now sitting at the previous weekly value area high. This all coincides with our big major 67.46 daily and the 67.5250 daily that we're using as a zone here. And if we push below this area, we're starting to get back into the previous weekly value area, and they could rotate. Okay, I mean, when you get back into value, if you spend some time down here, they might try to work their way back. But I will say this, we do have an untested 4 hour at 67.33, But you guys know we want to get right back above the 67.4650 and the 67.5250 for progression up. Now, that untested daily that I was telling you guys at 67.2225, right here, and it's with a 4 hour at 67.24. I like this spot a lot. I really, really do. But again, if it plays this, we need to get back above 67.33, and then ultimately our daily is at 67.4650 and higher. Okay. Directly below this area, though, kind of a zone. We have the daily at 67.2225, like I said, and the 4 hour at 67.24. But we also have another 4 hour at 67.1650. Now, the reason I'm talking about this one was because this was major important on the way up. I mean, they hit their head on this so many times and was rejected. And then when they finally were able to break out above this high, this thing took off. Okay, so we have to assume that this area will play again if price comes below into it, just because of the amount of reactions that it got. That's why I'm really considering this whole area zone, the 67.24 to 67.1650. We really want to see this hold for the next continuation of the leg higher. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the other charts just so you can get an idea here what the 4 hour looks like. But this is our 4 hour leg in, guys. 66.96. This is a great spot. We actually know that this was held firm for quite some time. This has actually got one of my signature trades involved in it too as a wing play. I really like this spot, okay? But if this plays, we got to get back above 08, all right? 08, and then obviously 1650, and once that happens, this thing will get cooking, okay? If you guys remember what 08 is, that's that weekly point of control that we keep talking about. And also, we have that daily at 67.06, which is derived from right here. This is our current daily, well, it's the sub-leg daily up, but it's been tested. So, that's the issue right now is normally I would be like loving to buy this spot, but it is tested. So that's why the only one we have above it is the 22. Okay, so keep that in mind. With that being said, this 4 hour is very important to hold in this segment because if they move below this area, all we have is this very significant tested major pivot, this 85, which you guys know they came down on Wednesday, kind of held this, and then immediately just squeezed the new all-time highs. This is a biggie here, okay? This is a super big level. And I'm going to go ahead and put this back on here. The only other thing I have is a 4 hour down here at 66.62.75 that is untested. It also lines up with some other good stuff that we had. There's a 2 week composite point of control around 66.69. And we have that really, really significant daily leg in that I was showing you that absolutely has to hold at 66.60. So this is a big area. I do anticipate this area playing. How I would actually play this is if 66.62 plays, look for the trigger back above 66.73 and then 66.85. Once these two steps are completed, you got something good. Okay, but ultimately we needed to get back above 66.73 before anything can really start happening. And as you can see, this 66.73 is this daily right over here. It was super important for a long time. I mean, if you guys recall when we were trading this, I mean, you could see right here that, it played from the top down, bottom up, and then on the smaller time frame, it played a few more times. Okay, so I remember that this level is big. We got a 20-day moving average of 66.71, and there's just a lot of reasons to believe that this area can, play. But we just got to make sure they get back above what's important to continue our move higher. So that's what it's looking like right here in this leg segment to the highs, guys. This is essentially it. What's going to happen this week is hard to tell. The government is still shut down. We still have no news. We don't really know what's cooking. VIX is kind of in a holding pattern. I think everybody's kind of in a holding pattern, but no news is good news, and so we continue to grind higher, okay? Ultimately, if we do have a daily close below this 66.60, it can get pretty ugly pretty fast. We do have some support right around here, around the 6600 area that I didn't chart out because it's on the 4 hour, not the daily. And again, if they close down here, our next daily support that's untested is technically 65.16. So we're looking pretty fragile up here from a daily time frame or high time frame support perspective, which simply just this one untested daily at 67.22. Okay, so keep that in mind. I showed you the key 4-hour levels and what it takes to move above or below. And we're just going to stop right there. I mean, I don't expect a whole lot of action this week. It's from a news perspective, but anything can happen, so we have to be prepared. And giving you guys the high time frame and what you need to understand should put you guys in the right place to make the right decisions. So have an excellent rest of your Sunday, and we will talk soon.